I remember you, monster. You stole Eleanor from me. Twisted that baby girl into a thing so sick it can't even die. And now you come swanning into my neighborhood looking for me. Wrong turn, Tin Daddy. When we hang you from a street light and you choke out your last.
Grace Holloway is one of the most dedicated women that Subject Delta will encounter during the events of the game BioShock 2. A devout follower of Sofia Lamb and staunch supporter of the family, Grace would come to Rapture in the hopes of finding greater success in her music career and starting a family. Two dreams that would ultimately fall flat, as the city stifled her creative outlet and she was found to be barren. With her life on the rocks, she would hear of a therapist who gave free counsel to the downtrodden of Rapture on Sundays, a choice that would lead her into the arms of a much different kind of family.
Ryan doesn't care and Fontaine's a damn crook. But Dr. Lamb cares. We're still people to her. She's offering free mental counseling on Sundays. When I go, I get the feeling she's got a plan for Rapture. And for me.
The story of Grace Holloway, as we know it, begins in St. Louis, Missouri, around the time of the Great American Depression. Growing up would be tough in such a climate, but she would seemingly manage to make some associates in the music scene, which is where she would likely hear about the engineering marvel being built in the Atlantic Ocean. With the hopes of making a name for herself below the waves, she would find passage to Rapture abuzz with the energizing words of Andrew Ryan. However, when she arrived, she would find it to be less than advertised. Yes, there was incredible luxury and privilege for those wealthy or influential enough to grasp it, but it was all built on the backs of laborers and the poor who were handed only scraps for their efforts. She would take these observations and mesh them into her music, singing about men like Andrew Ryan and the hypocrisies of his city. Criticisms that wouldn't sit too fondly with the famed city founder, as he would blacklist her from the more high society venues, forcing her to take refuge in Pauper's Drop, a haven for the poverty-stricken she'd had such sympathies for. Still, she would manage to make a name for herself amongst the downtrodden, finding a stage at the Limbo Room as a popular act singing about the woes of the people. Citizens of the slums coming from all around to hear the truth beautifully sung by a talented musician. One of these citizens would be a man named James, a quiet man who found Grace's songs captivating, the two beginning a relationship together with the hopes of more, yet more dreams that would be snuffed out by the hidden cruelties of this beautiful city.
He's gone. James was the only man I ever loved, and now it's like he never even came to Rapture. He heard me sing at the Limbo Room, came up all bashful. He liked hearing songs about what it's really like to live in this town. I think he's been trying to organize folks against Ryan. And now he's gone. And I'm here, singing Rise, Rapture, Rise.
Under cloak of darkness, James would be taken by Ryan's men one day and never seen again. The event breaking Grace, as not only had she lost the only man that she'd ever loved, but it had also shown her firsthand just how drastic repercussions could be for disloyalty. In fear for her life, she would begin shifting her act to more closely toe Ryan's party line. The stresses of Rapture caving in on her one by one, as even more bad news would come in the form of her finding out that she was incapable of bearing children. Her view on life ever souring, she would begin going to Sofia Lamb's free therapy counseling sessions every Sunday in the hopes of finding some solace. In these sessions, they would discuss the state of Grace's life and the state of Rapture. Lamb telling the soul-searching singer that, while she couldn't conceive a family, that didn't mean that one was beyond her grasp. Initially, Grace would resist Lamb's efforts to get her involved in her movement, but lack of purpose and the promise of belonging would lead her to find meaning in the cause. Lamb growing to see Grace as one of her most trusted advisors, as Ryan began to crack down on the resistance. These crackdowns eventually leading to Lamb being imprisoned and Grace taking care of her daughter, Sofia. Her dreams for a family finally fulfilled in a way she could have never envisioned.
Sofia remembered that I was barren, and she asked me to take care of her baby while she's gone. Baby Eleanor Lamb. gorgeous, clever little girl. I have a child now, and it's gonna put the whole world all right.
For the next 3 years, Grace would take care of Eleanor Lamb and continue rallying support for the family. Her commitment to Eleanor absolute, as she cherished this new role more than anything. Unfortunately though, as had already been proven time and again in this city, good times were ever fleeting. One day, her adopted daughter would disappear during a meeting of the family, and Grace would be absolutely devastated for her failure. Guilt would consume her every waking minute as she searched for Eleanor in vain. Until one day, she would catch a glimpse of the youngest Lamb walking with a big daddy, specifically Subject Delta, approaching to find the hollow eyes of a little sister and the angry fervor of her huge protector. Delta would attack Grace, knocking her to the ground and breaking her jaw in the process. The brainwashed Eleanor cowering behind her protector as Grace saw what she believed to be the Tin Devil who had stolen her, an understanding that would poison her mind for years. Even as Sofia was freed from her prison and returned to her family. Even as Eleanor would be freed from her mind control. Even as the Tin Daddy himself would be killed at the hands of Dr. Lamb. That hatred would fester, until eventually the Tin Daddy would return. And this time, she would be ready for him. Grace Holloway is one of the most unfortunate women who can be found roaming the devastated halls of this once great city. A testament to the failures of Rapture, Grace would come to this city with dreams that would be dashed and broken at every turn. Andrew Ryan had stomped on her aspirations, killed her love, and driven her into poverty, breaking her will and sending her into the arms of someone who sought to use her talents for her own cause. A cause that would consume Grace's life, as she began to live only in service to the family she thought she'd always wanted.
Dr. Lamb trusted me to care for her child, and I tried. But baby Eleanor disappeared. And then one day, I see her walking with you, looking wrong. And when I tried to hold her, you knocked me down, broke my jaw. So I'm ready, baby snatcher. Come on in and finish the job.